If you're here right now, this is your sign. You are not broken. You are just blocked in the next 7 days. So starting today, this is the video 1 of 7. I'll have them once the video ends, the next one is going to be actually set. I normally haven't been doing that with the videos, but this one is so that you can focus on something. So listen, you are going to be blocked in some form, but I'm going to be a little bit more or less like woo-woo with you, and it is going to be your nervous system. So this can make us feel not safe to receive more money, not be safe to be more visible online, not feel safe to have a calm and respectful, very mutual conversation, possibly with your husband or wife. These are the types of things that we are going to get into, and we're going to find out specifically what the universe wants you to know, and it is going to help guide you, because now is not the time anymore to linger on the same damn thing that you have always done. Okay, so we are going deeper. We're going deeper, we're going further. Hold on a second, I got way too many cards that just popped out. So if you are here while I am pulling the cards, go ahead and let me know in the comments, what is one thing if you could break through in this month, today's September 2nd, but the next 29 days, what would it be? If you could have any forward momentum, what would it be? Okay, because remember, 9 times out of 10, whatever, more times than not, I don't know why I'm trying to say not, more times than not, it's not really you procrastinating. It's just resistance. Your nervous system is blocked. Okay. It just doesn't feel safe. And that's where you'll also hear your energy is blocked. So in the way that I teach you guys, and the way that I teach myself, when we say energy is blocked, it means that your human self, your nervous system does not feel safe. Okay. We want to be able to get it to be safe. Small things before we even get into this. I like to always set the tone with this. I literally do this with my 6-year-old and my 8-year-old, and I do this with myself. With my kids, if I have them like lying on my lap, or if I just do it with myself, I put my hand on my heart, both hands on my heart, one hand on my stomach, one hand on my heart. I just feel where I need it that day. If I need to feel super supported, I put my hand on my heart and my chest. I literally just say things like, I am safe. I love my body. It is okay for me to move slowly. It is safe for me to move slowly. So many times when you are looking to like go through course material, you signed up for a membership, how come it's stuff like behind the wall? I want to see it all now. That's your nervous system response, grasping and clasping and trying to rush. You want to be slow. If you're here, this is about slowing down, listening, being aware, being more responsive than reactive. And we're being responsive to our bodies. Okay. So you are in the in-between. Yes. So the instance of what healing means is also going to be kind of different. So most of the time, what we have going on right now, one, this is a time of restoration. So this is how you're going to be moving forward. Again, the message from the universe is literally that it is safe to pause. Okay. It is safe to pause. Safety needs to be first. We have this misconception. If we use the word safety, that means that like somebody's like running after us or about to like, choke us or something. No, not what I mean by safety. We're talking nervous system safety. It is not something that is just like some kind of freaking like made up freaking word. This has been around forever. We have nervous systems. They are connected to our organs. They are connected to our energy body. Okay. It has a lot to do with what we receive and what we don't receive. In a psychological sense, it has to do with like fight and flight, fawn, freeze, all the little things. Has to deal with all the mechanisms inside of our brain of what turns off, what shuts down. Okay. This is about your human experience. We have to honor it. A lot of times we're not honoring it. And with the healing, we have it reversed. The reason this is reversed is most of the time you guys are reading. Let me get through the content. I did all the videos. I did all the lessons. I did the workbook. I watched everything. I bought everything. When did you stop to implement it? When did you stop to give yourself grace? When did you stop to realize that you also may be being guided under the guise of the ego? We all do it. No matter where you are in life. Something feels redundant in your life, I encourage you, not because if there's 2 people involved that it means that you're the only problem or they're the only problem. Can we look at this through a different lens? So whatever your objective is that you are looking to bring in and looking to call in, are you being biased and under the guise of how you feel you need to approach it? So the universe is saying when you approach healing, this is not the state in which you have been doing it, okay? We are going to implement first, meaning implement inside of the body before that action. Otherwise, no, you will not be calling in more money. You will not be even remotely receptive to calling in the love of your life, or at least some dates. Okay. Maybe it's not the love of your life yet. Maybe you're going to go on a few dates in this new perception of yourself, but this is all through stillness. Okay. You want to be able to be still, to be able to receive, to be able to feel a part of something, to be able to go through your metamorphosis of yourself. Okay. So right now it probably does. It probably has been feeling like a big in between for you. Like, not totally a standstill, might feel like you have a little bit of forward progress, but then it's like kind of like just dies down again. Okay. It dies down again. And they're saying it's because it's the way that you keep approaching healing. You're either being really freaking stubborn and cynical about it. Like, I did this already. I know all these things already. Or you're so attached to the do of the healing. Implementation. You have to implement it through your body. How are you going to do that? You have to create a state of devotion for yourself, okay? A state of devotion is literally going to come from pausing to really, really hear. I always say this, hear beyond your ears, hear beyond your eyes, okay? You want to really envelop the experience. Like, if you can take a moment, if you're doing any type of meditations or you're doing any kind of guided practices, step outside of your body and look upon the human form. What is it trying to tell you? What types of things is it needing? Okay. So like, if it's with a partner or with a job, if you have like inadequacy, if you have any types of like rejection that's lingering in the background, and these situations that occur in front of you are triggering that, until you recognize, like, not just read about it in your body, recognize to be able to nurture. So when we're healing our nervous systems, our energy bodies, it's not always, sometimes it can be, for sure, especially if you're actually super hypersensitive. I need you to actually know that you can change a whole lot quicker and have a lot more forward momentum than somebody that's a lot more calm and collective. Also, if you give me the excuse that you're an empath, so am I. So what? Oh, but I get really super drained around people. You have really poor boundaries then. You have to develop your boundaries. And when you do, you can sustain yourself. You can totally socialize, and you can do all these things because you know how to boundary your body. You know how to protect your nervous system so that it feels safe, so that it's not draining out. You also learn when to say no, when to say yes. Okay. So lots of great things. So before we move any further with this, in order to get to this place, sometimes this one word is necessary. And the reason I'm going to say that is, we can sometimes start seeing life through a different lens if you give yourself enough time to pause without rushing it. So again, if there's something that's changing, if there's any kind of stuff that's been brought up that's kind of like super frustrating, now is the chance. Like, even in astrology, I'm not really versed in astrology, so I'm not going to talk upon like the planets or anything, but I do know, based on what's happening energetically, that I think started like yesterday, or, at least in the last couple days, it really is a time of like looking at stuff through fresh eyes to be able to have this metamorphosis in your life. The only way that this is going to work, though, is as you go, you have to forgive others and forgive yourself. Okay. This does not mean we have accepted that we were treated poorly, or that we accept that it is okay to be, paid below our means or whatever. I'm not saying, we're not justifying. We are moving into the model of, okay, this is what once was. Okay. It doesn't mean what is, but if anything, I need to forgive myself that I put myself in that situation to either have that behavior and that action, or to create that choice to allow, through either sloppy boundaries, not using my voice, not feeling enough, the fear of being rejected if I stand up for myself or say something, or if I do something different. Okay. I want you to take that and I want you to pause. Again, we're not here to rush. Rushing is the biggest conspiracy of your life, okay? We need to realize that does not create forward momentum. So it is committing to yourself. Well, they're saying, are you willing to commit to yourself? Are you willing to be devoted to yourself? Okay? Are you willing, as you forgive yourself and have some stuff come up, It is going to make you want to sink into a hole from time to time, depending on what has been brought up. Are you willing to be the warrior of your life? Are you realizing that you always have been? You may not have been living up to that role, but now is your chance. If I can do it, you can do it. 100%. 100%. So this is just a season, which is why it's going to feel in between. Okay. So this is temporary. This is not a state of permanence. I guarantee you, if you're here right now, you have not been in this place for an eternity of all time. Some things may be lingering that have been around for years. Some things may be coming up from your inner child. Quite possible, because they never were actually implemented through your nervous system. Because if nothing was triggered, then it's kind of just sitting in the background. It's like something being in a box in the closet and it's sort of forgotten about. And until like it's really like, you know, you see it again, you know, it could be a past relationship or a memory with a family member or whatever, a letter that you wrote yourself, and you're like, oh, dang. And then that can bring you into, you know, the spiral if you allow it, or it can be an opportunity. But you have to commit to yourself. And it's going to feel it's going to feel unknown. It's going to feel different. And so when you do that, it's the greatest surrender of your life. Surrender is not failing. Surrender is not failing. Surrender is giving yourself the permission to be able to give yourself, in a way, the forgiveness, the allowance of the progression of the metamorphosis of yourself. You are moving into the unknown. You very much are. Okay. And as you do this for yourself, you're going to realize that you're going to get more joy into your life. Okay. You are. And so we are right now. The idea, when we speak of healing, when we're speaking of healing, we are doing compassionate nurturing opposed to action-oriented things. Sitting with the self, listening to the self, having that thought process play out, have it play out. Okay. Not redundantly. If it's still peaking like animosity, resentment, I'm going to prove this, I'm going to do this. If they only wouldn't have done that, if only I would have showed up differently. No. Get to the point, like allow it to go through the process of grief so that you then can start to go, okay, now that, in a way, let's call it what it is. The tantrum is over. The victim has now sat down. We are going to move into the warrior self. I don't know. My daughter even says this now all the time because I guess I've said it so much. I'm excited. It's working. Sometimes brainwashing is necessary. I use the term of, when she's like, oh, I don't know how to do that. I said, you don't know how to do that yet. You haven't figured that out yet. That's not never. So you may not have figured it out yet. But Danielle, it's been going on for 25 years. All right. Sometimes it takes a long time to learn something, doesn't it? You want to be amazing at it as a soul, really like taking all the, you know, volumes of that emotion of that experience. If your soul came here for that, okay, it's a process. So what? Maybe in the next lifetime, you don't deal with that shit anymore because you've mastered it in this lifetime. You get the choice to choose that. You get the choice to choose to be a warrior. But in the contrast of a warrior seems so masculine and so action-based all the time. We want a copacetic whole. You cannot just act out of completely in the feminine, just simply out of the allowance, if the masculine side of doing an action also doesn't have any type of parallels. Okay. So as we progress through the messages, the universe is going to deliver the hows towards these things. Right now is the recognition of, to be able to move into the state of being able to move forward. Okay. We're moving forward. You have to sit with yourself first. Sit with yourself, not in redundancy, in allowance. So I'm going to read this one card to you if I can find where the book is. Oh, here it is. And it was reversed. We have Protecting Treasure reversed. And I want to read this one to you. That's the one that's coming up to read to you. So I'm going to read it and see what it says. It could sometimes solidify every single thing that we just said, just to show you that I'm not completely crazy. All right. It's reversed. Do you too easily give your loyalty to those who haven't earned it? This is a time to assess your personal loyalties and discern whether they are being returned in kind. Some relationships are made for convenience. Some favor one side over the other. Vulnerability born of fear may lead to be taken advantage of. Perhaps the imbalance in your relationships is due to a conscious choice you have made. If so, make sure you aren't being hurt by the arrangement. If you believe that you have found some kind of protective refuge, be aware that there may be a price to pay. That's the guys. The little voice of the ego. You may also need to reassess whether you are compromising yourself in any way to achieve what is an illusion of safety. This is completely solidifying everything. Be true to your dream and remember that the angels will bring the right people your way to further the path. Hi, it could be me. Of your highest good. Remain cautious and be conscious of the give and take in all relationships and projects at this time. Do not give away the farm for a smile. So this means everything energetically. This is not about the push of the do, but I did this, I did this affirmation. And it could even be, but I was doing a meditation every single day at 9:00. I went on a walk every single day to be inside of nature, Danielle. You're still very much not necessarily implementing as much as you are doing, because you start to lose the intention of things. It starts to become redundant and you become complacent to the act of. So then you aren't in allowance to become, to form, to be in. Okay. This is not a permanent state of space to stay in. This is not something you're going to do for the rest of your life. You're going to have seasons through it. You're going to have seasons through it, to where when you are speaking up, you're speaking up to your ego. You're speaking up to yourself. You're allowing all the voices to come forward. And then to also be like, all right, you're not necessary. Wow. I see how I cycled that. I see how I blew that out of proportion. Wow. You triggered me when I was like 4. I thought I was over that. I was not over that. So what's actually happening? I'm then creating this personality trait out of my body, or I am withdrawing heavily because I feel that that might be safer than reacting out of chaos, because I realize I have not implemented inside of my body the form of safety, as well as created the tool to be able to be energetically mature enough to handle the situation. So this is about accountability as well. Okay. So join me tomorrow and I will have more information to guide you through this process.